First movie of 2015, Jupiter Ascending. Hey, I got this out on release date. It's a first for me. I don't care how good the movie was, I'm proud of myself. Jupiter Ascending is directed by the Wachowski brothers. They're known for stuff like The Matrix. Everybody loves The Matrix. Cloud Atlas, they were heavily involved in V for Vendetta. They're known for these visually stunning and thought-provoking sci-fi action movies. That's not what Jupiter Ascending is. Jupiter Ascending stars Mila Kunis, Channing Tatum, Sean Bean, and Eddie Redmayne. So Mila Kunis is this girl on Earth, and she cleans toilets for a living. She's like this immigrant, and they're like this maid family thing. She's like, oh my gosh, I hate my life sucks. And then the aliens abduct her, and she's like, I love my life, please throw me back to my life. So it turns out Earth wasn't actually the birthplace of the human race. It was seeded and it was made somewhere else, and there are these space people that live for millions of years or whatever. And it all gets really stupid. My biggest problem with this movie is Mila Kunis. She has gotta be one of the worst actresses working today. She's terrible. She is awful. Every line she delivers is just bad. It's like, hey, what's going on? I just want to look at the screen and shout, shut up, Meg. Mila Kunis is truly, truly awful. Good example of bad casting. Like, when your main character is the worst part of the movie, you've got some issues. Channing Tatum is fine. He plays your standard action hero. I mean, he's Channing Tatum. He's got, like, wolf ears or dog ears or something, so he's, like, half human, half dog, and it's kind of weird. The non-human races in general are really weird and dumb. They're, like, just crappy Wachowski stupid costume design, and you're like... Except for the cool, like, Argonian, reptilian, lizard, gargoyle thing. Those guys are awesome. I wanted to see more of them. Sean Bean's probably the most serious, like, believable character. I mean, he's Sean Bean, but he's great. I mean, Sean Bean. We like Sean Bean. He's awesome. It's freaking Boromir. And I guess this is kind of a spoiler alert, but not really. I mean, I'm happy that they resisted the urge to kill him in this movie. Oh my god. Every movie he's in, he died. People have really been hating on this movie and Eddie Redmayne's performance specifically. I mean, the guy's nominated for an Oscar. And in this movie, he's not awful. I mean, it's stupid, but it's entertaining at least. Like, he talks like everybody's doing this in their video reviews. He's like, I am the villain, and you, Mila Kunis, should not be in any more movies ever. And that makes me mad! And he'll start screaming for no reason. It's ridiculous. But like I said, it's funny ridiculous. So it's entertaining. He's fun to watch. He's like pacing the room and looking. He's all old and shit. But the weird thing is, he's got like this old man makeup on, but he looks like he's 25. The guy looks so young. Like, he doesn't look old. He looks young with old people's skin. And they kind of explain that. It's weird. He's also a wuss. Whenever he gets hit with something, he screams like a little girl. His sister, though, she's pretty hot. Now, where this movie does succeed is the visuals. Like, CGI's awesome in this movie. All these spaceships and stuff and going through everything, and like there's a big battle in Chicago, and Channing Tatum's got like these space flying roller skate things, and they're skating around and they're shooting their lasers and stuff back and forth, and that's really, really cool to look at. A lot of the guns reminded me of Halo. Like, they sound like this, they're really punchy for being like floaty lasery type weapons, and just the sound mixing's really, really good. Yeah, and whenever they're on Jupiter or whatever other planet, or again, this whole space stuff is completely weird and nearly impossible to follow. Like, the plot in general is just really wonky. But whenever you're on the other planets, they look sweet. It's like completely CGI, and I'm like, yeah, it looks awesome. And I didn't see it in IMAX because if it sucked, I didn't want to be out $12, so it was only out $4. This movie doesn't suck. It's just not good. But the visual effects and the CGI are really, really sweet looking, especially with all the explosions. They're really poppy, and then they like fade away. Especially the Chicago battle. That looks really cool. For all the battles and destruction that happens in Chicago frequently in movies, I enjoyed watching that. The music, too, is really good. Michael Giacchino, Jaya Kichikuna. Choir stuff and the sweeping orchestral score. But the plot in general is, for a Wachowski movies, like, these guys did The Matrix. They made everyone question their reality, and this is just so lazily thrown together. It's like, oh, we'll have a bunch of space people, and they'll all be, it's like real estate with Earth, and it's dumb. But like I said, best action sequences of the year so far. I mean, it's February, it's not saying much, because my wrist tells month time. It's also really hard to keep track of which house is which and who wants who and who works for who, and I couldn't even tell you how many different people were fighting for Jupiter. The ending is so cliche and dumb. I'm gonna, spoiler alert, she's hanging off a ledge, and the music's getting intense. It's like, oh no, she might die. I'm like, Channing Tatum's gonna come and save her, and it's like, oh look, she made it, and I'm like, oh look, I know. I mean, it's not like you can spoil this movie anyway. If you're looking for the next Matrix, you won't find it here. It's entertaining. I mean, as a popcorn movie, cool action, good music, acting is. Sean Bean's as good as it gets with the acting. But yeah, I'd say it's worth like a couple of... If you catch it on matinee, just don't expect much. It's a good, mindless sci-fi action movie. A lot of the space stuff is pretty cool, but it's only on screen for a few seconds, and then they go back to Mila Kunis, like, I want to see more of the space stuff. Thank you for watching. I'm Wesley Tomsky. Like and subscribe. Now get hurt! This also has nothing to do with anything, but there's a guy playing a video game in the movie for a little while, and then it shows the screen, and I'm like, Dark Souls 2!